Hi everyone, it's Carrie. Today, big confession time. So, I've mentioned in some of my past videos that I did do something illegal in my past, and I'm about to out myself. I was considered a shoplifter. I didn't shoplift anything, but I, I was part of a team of people. So, um, be careful who your friends are and who you're hanging around with and who you're being influenced by, because those people can make or break your life. And this is just a really good example of, unfortunately, I was bullied. I didn't have any friends. The group of people that I did hang out with, I can't say that they completely instigated it. I was a part of it. And I have to own my part too. I might have even placed the suggestion in their heads, because part of my training as a retail clerk at a store was that we could avoid transactions. And I remember kind of telling my girlfriends that I'm not sure, I can't recall if we had just decided to do this, or if when one of my girlfriends came through the line, I avoided her transaction, let her go. I believe that's actually what happened, is I kind of did it as a friendly favor. And then say hi to my little Romeo, um, as a kind of just to, to see. I don't know really why. I can't really recall the initial details, but I know that we decided, well, we can do this. We can get away with this. Um, So what ended up happening was, my girlfriends would come into the store shopping, and then I would end up, they'd come through and they'd maybe pay for a pack of gum or something, or one of the items, and then everything else I would avoid out. Isn't he handsome? I'm so blessed and lucky. Oh, I am. That's Romeo. That's a Romeo for you. Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Anyway, Um, so we did this, I don't know, not that many times, maybe 4 or 5 times, when all of a sudden one of the girlfriends, I think it was being watched, because we were being told not to avoid transactions or get special approvals, things like that. And what ended up happening was they either got caught, I thought he fell, well, he jumped. Um, they either got caught or they threw away one of the bags with the receipt in it that showed it was voided. It doesn't really matter. I never, went back and talked to them about any of the details. We pretty much weren't friends after we got caught. But one night I got called. I had to call in. I was on call, so I called in. They said, "Yeah, why don't you come into work?" And I thought, well, this is crappy. Normally we're never busy, and I should have known something was up. But when I went in, I went to the desk to see, where I was supposed to work, and they told me to wait, and then they took me back into an office. They confronted me, and I denied it, and they said, "We have proof. Are you sure you want to keep denying this?" And at that point, I was like, "No, it happened." Um, you know, I, I wish I wouldn't have denied it right off the bat, but I think it was a gut instinct to do it. And then, regardless of what proof they hadn't shown me any proof, but I knew the right thing to do was to admit it, and so I did. And I knew I was in a lot of trouble at that point. Um, we went through some of the details, and they didn't really tell me everything they had, but they did tell me they had an empty bag with a receipt. It was from my register, and they knew what was in it because of the security cameras and everything. Um, and so then they did end up questioning my friends. People returned or gave back the merchandise that they had. And then my mother had to come and get me. My aunt came with her. By the time we got home, there's a big ruckus. You'll have to watch my suicide video. It goes through much more detail. Because that night I locked myself in the bathroom and was going to commit suicide. The police came. They took me to a healthcare center. While I was there, the court stuff was going on. I was 17 years old at the time and could have been tried as an adult, I guess. I mean, I don't think that was that common back, at that time. It was 1987. And maybe, they didn't even do that then. I'm not sure. But anyway, instead of doing it in court because of my mental condition with the suicide, the judge agreed to talk to me in chambers. So me and my mom and the judge were in the chambers. I didn't have an attorney or anything. And the judge felt that I had learned my lesson and that I was being honest about, going forward in life, doing the right things. And which is true. I did. I mean, I learned a lot from that. I was like, not doing that again. Nope. And I didn't even take drugs. I didn't, no, I cleaned my act up. There's no doubt about it. I was terrified. And because of the fact that I was a juvenile, they did close it when I was 18. It disappeared off my record, so I never had a criminal record, thank God. But can I say I was goody two shoes? Absolutely not. I was part of it. I let people go through with things. Now, there was a restitution. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know what the restitution cost was. My parents paid it. Apparently, they're billing me for it now, but I don't even know what it was. It spent more than $1,500, $2,000 at max. I don't know, though. I mean, who am I to talk? They haven't given me any receipts, or they never told me, what it was. Thankfully, I got a clean slate from the state, so to speak. I didn't from my family. That episode, the whole shoplifting thing and the legal trouble and the suicide stuff, I mean, it's just that me and my family were never the same. I never really had a relationship with my family after that. There were things like, I remember when I was a little older in my second marriage, or my first marriage, and I don't know, I was maybe around 25 years old. I had a phone conversation with my mother, and I said, I was really stressed out and finances and stuff, and I said, I've got to, figure this out in about 20 or 30 years. I have to figure out how I'm going to help take care of you and Dad. And my mother hysterically started laughing. And I said, well, what's funny? And she goes, well, we wouldn't count on you to take care of us. It was that reputation I had, with my family. It was, even though I cared about them and I thought I had a clean slate. With some people, you never will. They will always remember you as the bad guy. And because of that, when people have done me wrong, most of my life I've given them a clean slate. And have they screwed me over time and time again? Absolutely, they did. I look at it more as forgiveness, but now I'm not so stupid. It's like, okay, you get forgiveness and a clean slate, but I'm not investing in you anymore. Okay, there's a difference, because you can't necessarily. Would I laugh at somebody if they said that they were, especially somebody young who was looking to be concerned about me in the future, to take care of me? I wouldn't laugh at that. I still don't understand to this day why my mother thought that was funny. She should have been honored. She should have been like, oh, you don't have to worry about us, but I appreciate it. Not, but that was my mother with me. Just I was never good enough, that kind of thing. But there'll be other videos that'll go further into that. Overall, back to me. The video is about my mistakes, the things that I did wrong, not everybody else. And yes, I was a shoplifter, technically. Even though I didn't take any merchandise, I let people take merchandise. I let it happen. When you see people doing things wrong, even if you're their friend, even if you're a loved one, a family member, the best thing you can do is report them. Because if I hadn't been given the help when I was 17, I wouldn't have had that clean slate, because I would have probably kept doing it. And whoever caught it or reported it, I actually want to thank that person because they saved me from a life of crime. And they got me away from a group of people that really that was their only interest is what I could provide for them. And I ended up learning those aren't your friends. So, um, the best advice I could give off of it is, first of all, don't commit crimes. Secondly, watch who you're hanging out with, and if they're trying to gain something from you or they're really your friend. And 3, own up to your mistakes. So own the truth before the truth owns you. And I can't really say I own the truth before it owned me because the truth owned me. It definitely did. We should have stopped what we were doing and realized it was wrong. And I think we realized it was wrong, but we were getting away with it. So we kept doing it. And you probably know lots of people that are doing things illegally that they're getting away with it. So they're going to keep doing it. They will until you have the love for them that you should have and you turn them in. I know that sounds like a terrible thing to do, but that's the only way they're really going to get help. They're going to get the help they need. And you're going to be the bad guy at first and maybe forever. But it's a lot better than watching somebody that you love or you care about go down a really steep, slippery hill that they can never get back up. And you don't want to go down there with them. Okay. Couple things that I found interesting in relation to the Bible is Proverbs, my book of wisdom. Well, not my book, it's God's book of wisdom. That's where I like getting my wisdom from. Chapter 10, verse 2. Ill-gotten treasure have no lasting value, but righteous delivers from death. That was true. Ill-gotten treasures had no lasting value, but righteousness delivers from death, and that was the truth. Righteousness is truth, and it's very true in Proverbs, also chapter 20, verse 17. It says, food gained by fraud. I can't talk with some. Food gained by fraud tastes sweet, but one ends up with a mouthful of gravel. So yes, food gained by fraud might taste sweet, but you get a mouthful of gravel. It's very true. Ponder that. Ponder that for a moment. And so even if you're buying your food with ill-gotten gains or bad money, a lot of times when it's criminal activity and you make money off of it, you might as well consider that blood money. Somewhere along the line, somebody's going to die to pay for that. And hopefully it's not you. Hopefully you do the right thing. And this is a huge part of where I get own the truth before the truth owns you. All right. Make good decisions. Please think about your actions. Think about the people you're hanging out with. They can have lifelong consequences. Love you. Bye.